Now let's bring in Ibrahim Nabayi, Acting Secretary General of the National Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. So good to have you. First day of school resumption across the country. And one can only imagine what parents are thinking now, what's going on in their heads as to how to deal with the issue of school fees and what have you. Well, first off, let me paint a picture for us about, the state of affairs as children go back to school today. How are parents taking this, considering the economic downturn?
Good evening, Nigeria. This topical issue is a very critical and sensitive issue that borders on the lives and well-being of Nigerians, because the situation we find ourselves today is a pathetic situation whereby every parent is not having it easy. We are having sleepless nights. We are receiving calls from all quarters, from all nucleus and crannies of Nigeria on what to do, how to go about it. For instance, before the current recent increase in the price of petroleum products, people are managing to at least send their children to school. Now with the increment, everything, even toothpick in Nigeria, the price has doubled or tripled. Likewise, the cost of sending your child to school. If you have children about 5, 6 scattered around public schools, now let us even talk about the area of public schools, that every state government or whatever are saying is a free and compulsory basic education. How do you transport them? How? Because the pump price now is alarming. Now, when you go to buy, last week on Friday, I happened to visit one of the commercial banks. The queue of parents I saw waiting to access a soft loan to complement their salary to pay the children's school fees is alarming. In fact, some banks turn down requests that they don't give such soft loans. Because if you are collecting the loan, you are collecting based on your supposed income. The increase of minimum wage, the what have you, that has not been realistic. How can a bank give you a loan on that? And schools have resumed, with the exception of, is it Edo or Kano State and Kaduna State that are resuming on the 15th or thereabout. Parents are finding it very difficult to pay school fees that is exorbitant. And when you look at the area of private schools, because the children attending private schools, when you take the ratio compared to what we have in the public school, government will they cannot, because the infrastructure in the public school cannot accommodate our children.
Right.
So we are saddled with this problem. Yeah.
If I may very quickly, so how are parents, adjusting to this new realities? Are they coming up with any kind of, creative ways to ensure that these kids don't add to the already bloated numbers of out-of-school children in Nigeria that hovers
the number is
15 million already?
Please, the number has already started increasing, because you that went around to Abuja to assess the resumption date, you could see a school that has a population of 2,000 or 1,500 naira, 500 pupils. You hardly see 800 in the school. What happens to the rest? So you add this and aggregate around the country, then that is the number you're having at out-of-school children. It has started already, because nothing is free in Nigeria. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing is free. So what
where do we go from here?
Very good question. Where do we go from here? As a Parents Teachers Association member, well, you're not just a member, Acting Secretary General, What are your expectations of government? How do you think government can come in to ease the burden on parents and guardians?
We are looking for up to government to have a lasting solution, not a temporary issue, not a temporary solution to this matter. Because the cost of education is on the increase. Payment of other ancillary services or learning materials are on the increase. Payment of lighting, source of energy, laboratory equipment, transporting the children to school is another big thing. So we are looking at government, we are looking up to government to have create a sustainable incentive. This issue of palliative, we don't see it as a sustainable thing. Because I can't imagine the kind of economics people we have around government that they are advising government to give palliative. It's not sustainable. When you give somebody palliative today, what about tomorrow?
Now, elsewhere in the advanced world, I know that schools are usually close, to the homes. Is that something that parents should begin to consider to bring the schools closer to the home, as in getting the students, the kids, go to school, closer to their homes? Is that an option that should be on the table?
Yeah, it's not an option. Because look at the diverse nature of our communities in Nigeria. How many schools can you build around your area, where you live? I don't know where you live. How many schools can you build around that place? Where is the money? Instead, let us have a sustainable way of maintaining these schools so that children will have a conducive atmosphere to learn, a safe environment to learn, where teachers are comfortable, their welfare well taken, the school infrastructure developed, taking the children, those are in the day system, will go to and from school comfortably. Okay, when are we starting to, when will you start constructing the schools? How long will it take you to construct a school now? How?
Well,
when? Where is the money?
I'm not even talking about constructing new schools. I'm saying, like in my area, for example, I'll the name of that area. I was able to count about 3, 4 schools within that vicinity. Would you advise that parents, look, instead of sending your kids to schools far away where you have to pay, for bus and all of that, here it's gone up from 40,000 to about 65, 70, depending on
what is the standard of such schools?
That's another question. That's another problem. It does raise another challenge, doesn't it? But is it something that should be considered?
It is. Well, I don't. You see, when you bring schools closer to communities, it's a good option. But now we are trying to do a damage control kind of approach to the situation. Because if you allow your child to stay away from school for 3 months, you know what it means. We are trying to arrest social violences, insecurity, and what have you. When the number increases, I don't know where we are going from there. So let there be a good budget, a holistic one that is feasible and realistic in education system. That is just the way out.
Right.
When issues like this arise, stakeholders, there is the need for stakeholders. The government should organize stakeholders. Let us dialogue. Let us find a solution to what we are going to do. People don't have access to internet. If you say we'll go online, digital. Where is light? As I speak with you, my children in the primary school, some in the university, some, I cannot afford to pay the data for them to read at home. I don't have the money. Right. I know I'm speaking the minds of over 200 million Nigerians here as I speak on this aspect. Those that have it are less than I'm not a mathematician, but I know a little of the statistics. 0.0000000 infinity 1. What do we do?
It is a
And the population is
multifaceted.
rising.
Yeah, it is a multifaceted problem, really. I've heard some say, look, maybe we should begin to consider home schooling, but you know, for every solution, there are other challenges that arise. We'll have to say thank you very much, Ibrahim Nabayi.
Where you cannot employ your child without a school certificate.
There you go.
Even if your child graduates through the nose, they will tell you your child has passed the age of employment in Nigeria.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ibrahim Nabayi, Acting Secretary General, Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria. Thanks for joining us.